What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 19. So super quick turnaround between Game Week 18 and Game Week 19, so please be prepared. The Tuesday afternoon deadline, wherever you guys are around the world, is going to creep up on us quite quickly. So take this as kind of a notification or reminder about the deadline. Please make those changes before the deadline. But if you need some help, I'll be giving you guys a deadline stream coming up 1 hour before the deadline, coming up on Tuesday. In this video, I'll be going over my transfer plans for and without Erling Haaland. We probably will make a move before the Game Week 19 deadline. So in this video, I'll show you guys a couple options. Now that'll be obviously after the Game Week 18 team review, still one game coming up later today, but I'll show you guys the current rank. So that's something you guys are interested in. Sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So let's go over that Game Week 18 team review, and as mentioned, one game coming up today. It's going to be Chelsea versus Wolves. I still have one player to feature. That's going to be Cole Palmer, but his ownership is pretty high within my rank bracket. So I do believe that the rank should probably stay quite consistent unless maybe Cole Palmer has an absolute banger. But as mentioned, the ownership is quite high amongst my rank bracket, so the rank gains might not be there. But in terms of the current rank, we've actually got a slight green arrow. This is almost before the Dom Solanke points got taken away. We're around the 160k mark. We're back up to that mark. As you guys know, those points were taken away, so quite a small green arrow, but any green arrow is going to be good. So that was thanks to 46 points total, a game week rank of 1.7 million, and currently we're on 1,061 points. Now in terms of the transfer plan for the upcoming game week, I've got one free transfer and a massive 7.3 left in the bank, which we might or might not use to get Erling Haaland for Game Week 19. So as you guys can see, Cole Palmer, the only remaining player in our team, and I guess if you guys have other options like Raheem Sterling, good luck for later today. Now I'm going to prepare you guys before I talk about my bench, because as I always say, the bench is where we start every single team review. This week though, it's an absolute massive one. I scored 28 points on my bench this week. So I've only seen some people actually beat me. I think some of them have had 32 players. It's almost like if you guys had Charlie Taylor instead of Saliba. But 28 points is absolutely insane for Game Week 18. So let me know in the comments down below, did any of you guys actually beat 28 points total? I guess the bench boost should have been activated this week. I would have definitely taken that. And we're not getting any of these players off the bench except if Cole Palmer misses out. So let's go over each of them. It's going to be firstly Areola returning to that West Ham squad after starting midweek in the Carabao Cup. And what a game to keep your first clean sheet against than Man United. So yes, United are looking simply terrible at the moment. Even West Ham are keeping clean sheets. You guys know how bad that West Ham defense actually is. But all I can say is nice to see that Areola's back in the squad, because if Dubravka loses his spot, at least you have a playing goalkeeper. Now he racked up a few save points as well as a few bonus points. So I really wish I actually started him over who I did. Then Archer actually was the player that wiped out that Aston Villa clean sheet. I brought in Konza this week, so that was quite disappointing. And he got a few bonus points as well. So you guys will see later on, but I actually started Anthony Gordon. I actually wish now that he missed out on that game, got his rest, because then we would have got Archer off the bench for his 8-point appearance. Now that wasn't the most points scored. It's actually Gabriel who got bonus points, a goal scored, a clean sheet lost though. So if I also kept the clean sheet against Liverpool, he would have been on for a massive haul. But I guess the logic was there for benching Gabriel and Saliba. I said that I expected Liverpool to score, they did. And I was actually going to start Gabriel in my team selection video, and the reason I said that was because he had more attacking threat, and what ends up happening, he scores a goal and was the one to start. So the play to do this week was actually to kind of roll the transfer. I would have played Gabriel anyways, I would have got his 10 points, and as you guys know, defensively, not a lot of clean sheets this game week. Then obviously the last option, Saliba, the only differential if you guys maybe had a plus 30 points bench. I'm just happy that Arsenal lost the clean sheet, otherwise I would have gone absolutely mental. But as mentioned, do any of you guys actually have more points on your bench than myself with 28? We can cry in the comments together. So now let's go on to the actual starting 11, and as mentioned, I started Dubravka. Now you guys can understand why I would have wished that Areola was in my team. 3 points versus 8, that's quite a big difference. Now don't you know what's happening with Newcastle's defense at the moment? They simply look like they're not a great defense. Yes, they've had some injuries, but this game I was expecting a clean sheet. But I guess at least Dubravka got a save point. Now the reason I was so disappointed with that lack of Newcastle clean sheet was the fact that I started Lascelles, but he came off injured in the first half, so even if they kept a clean sheet, it wouldn't have mattered. And that's going to be a transfer out if he's going to be out for quite a while. So Newcastle getting so many injuries at the current moment, I was just happy that Lascelles started this game. But if he didn't, I guess Gabriel could have had a nice 10-pointer. So one to monitor for the upcoming game weeks, but Newcastle still has some fairly nice fixtures before Man City and then Liverpool. So Lascelles could be on the way out this game week. Then our next option, Pedro Porro, also lost their clean sheet in that win against Everton. Now no attacking returns in this one, so only the 2-point appearance, and the lack of clean sheets for Spurs is definitely quite concerning. Now at halftime, Romero was also subbed off, so being the only remaining centre-back that is fit for Spurs, that's quite a worry. So can I see too many clean sheets in the future for Spurs? Probably not. But I guess Pedro Porro does offer that attacking threat going forward. This week might have been a little bit unlucky, but I'm still happy with the points returns he's got in the previous game weeks. Now the transfer in this week looks like an absolute shocker. I brought in Konza with the one free transfer. I was expecting a clean sheet here for Aston Villa against Sheffield United. That obviously didn't end up happening, but I think Sheffield United had their first shot in about the 80th minute. So I thought I was on for a clean sheet here. I'm pretty sure you Matty Cash owners were also pretty hyped. And this looks simply terrible, as if I just rolled the transfer, I would have started Gabriel. But I guess we didn't expect Gabriel to score his first goal of the season, and the odds of Aston Villa keeping a clean sheet were far higher than Arsenal. So on paper, this transfer looks absolutely terrible as mentioned, but I guess if we play Konza and he gets us a few clean sheets, maybe this will pay off in the future. But as you guys can see, compared to last game week where we racked up all the clean sheets, this week was simply terrible, but it seems like that was the majority for most defenses for game week 18. Let's see if our midfield department got any better. We'll start off with a lovely goal taken by Mo Salah. Now if you guys went on and captained Salah, that was a great kind of output, as amongst the popular captains he actually scored the most. Other than that though, pretty much kind of a little bit of a quiet game for Salah. Yes, he could have had an assist for that Trent goal, but I felt like Liverpool also should have had a penalty. So I guess on another day, maybe Salah had a massive haul against Arsenal. That's pretty insane, and I'll be sad to see him go to AFCON in a few game weeks time. Now, say that Mo Salah actually scored the most points out of the popular captains. Well, the reason for that is that he tied Heung-min Son. Both of them ended up on 7 points. So Son got his goal quite early on in that Everton game. I thought he might be on the cards for a haul. I was happy that his effective ownership was under 100%. Otherwise, I might have regretted not captaining him. But both these two assets ended up returning after a pretty quiet game week 17. But unfortunately, it wasn't a complete haul for all the S's, Salah, Son and Saka. So Saka ended up blanking in this game against Liverpool. Overall, I thought he had a pretty kind of quiet game. He had one big chance where he almost rounded Alisson. But his biggest contribution to that game was knocking out Jurgen Klopp and injuring Tsimikas. So he racked up a yellow card for kind of persistent fouling in this fixture. And I am a little bit worried because he hasn't scored that many goals in the previous game weeks. So I've had some Discord comments and some Twitter comments about Saka. I'm not really worried about him at the current moment. His consistency has been pretty average this game week, but he has some nice fixtures coming up. Now completing our midfield department with Cole Palmer is me Anthony Gordon. He was orange or yellow flagged before game week 18. Ended up starting this game but got no returns, and that was a little bit disappointing. So on paper, this game against Luton was a great one. Luton have conceded some of the highest XG this Premier League season, and Newcastle's attack has been pretty good as well. I guess it wasn't meant to be though, one of the shock results of game week 18. And congrats for those of you that did Gordon to Richarlison for a hit, because that's already paid off. I just thought that if there was a chance that Gordon was going to start this game week against Luton away, it's a good fixture on the cards, and because he started this game, I don't regret that decision. Now going on to our forward department, and it's kind of a polarizing one. We have a very good option and a very bad option. Let's start off with the good. It's Dom Solanke with a massive Hattie, and he got 17 points. So you guys did bring in Dom Solanke a few game weeks ago. He's been returning fairly nicely. I do believe we actually deserve this after his points getting taken away for game week 17, and that's the amount of points he actually scored, 17 as well. So you would have thought that this cheap option that we brought in for Erling Haaland would have scored a Hattie in the next few game weeks. I'd definitely be taking these points quite happily. Now the last option you guys might be noticing, I haven't spoke about my captain. Well, I did captain Ollie Watkins this week. What ends up happening, Aston Villa, I think for the first time this season, didn't score at home. And against one of the worst defenses, that's quite shocking. So Ollie Watkins ended up only on 2 points. Yes, he might have had a penalty shot. Don't think he would have taken it, but it might have been an assist. And then I think Leon Bailey also got a goal ruled out, which Watkins assisted. So this is how FPL is sometimes. I mean, who would have thought that Ollie Watkins would have blanked against Sheffield United at home? I didn't, and that's up with the Campsey armband on him. Now, if you guys did go differential, the effective ownership on Watkins was absolutely insane. Heung-min Son and Mo Salah would have outperformed him by quite a lot. But do I regret this? Obviously not. Every day of the week, I would have probably captained Ollie Watkins against one of the worst, if not the worst, defenses in the Prem. FPL sometimes just isn't on our side. But as you guys can see, 46 points total. Let me know how many points you guys scored. How's the overall rank looking? Was it a green arrow? Was it a red arrow? And as mentioned, how many points on your bench currently? Now, before we go over the actual Game Week 19 transfer plan, I want to give you guys the current team selection just to show what I'm currently dealing with and the context. So let's go over the starting 11 and the bench. Now, hopefully this bench doesn't score as many points as it did in Game Week 18. It might though. I've got Archer against Luton at home. That's a good fixture on the cards. Lascelles against Nottingham Forest, but he might be injured, and finally Konza against that misfiring United side. Only player I'm glad to be benching is probably Areola, as Arsenal away. It's a pretty bad game, and I expect West Ham to concede in this one. So my goalkeeper of choice yet again will be Dubravka against Forest at home. Good fixture on the cards. The new manager bounce hasn't exactly been there, but they were a little bit unlucky with the red card in Game Week 18. But still, even though the Newcastle defense hasn't been great, I do believe a clean sheet might be on the cards, and that's why I'm a little bit sad that Lascelles isn't going to be fit. Nevertheless, though, my starting back three is going to be Saliba and Gabriel, so we got the double up against West Ham. Not the most excited about this fixture. I can see a West Ham counter-attack goal, probably for Jared Bowen. But still, the odds of a clean sheet are quite high on the Arsenal side of things, so I'm not actually too afraid of playing the double up. Then finally, Pedro Porro in the middle. Do I think this is going to be a clean sheet? Probably not. Brighton have basically scored in every game this Premier League season, and with Romero injured, Spurs are running out of centre-backs. But still offers some attacking threat, but I guess if I do make a defensive upgrade, I could bench Porro. Just feels a little bit wrong though, doesn't it? Now moving on to midfield department, I'm going to start off with our captain Mo Salah against Burnley away. Now I don't own Erling Haaland at the moment, so Salah's the best option, and I believe a haul could be on the cards here for the Egyptian. And I expect a big performance out of Liverpool. If they can just take their chances like they didn't against Arsenal, there are going to be a few goals in this one, and I think Salah's a standout captain. We then have Son against Brighton. He might even be an option for the captaincy armband. Brighton's defense isn't too great, but I just think Salah's the better FPL asset. But still, pretty happy to own Son. Think that Spurs will do quite well in this fixture. And let's see if this week we can get a return from all the S's. So that'll obviously have to do with Saka against West Ham at home. This is a fine fixture on the cards, but I don't really trust that West Ham defense. So let's see if Saka can finally repay and gain the form that he hasn't had over the previous game weeks. Then we have Gordon against Forest at home. Good fixture on the cards. I do hope that Gordon starts, but I don't exactly know. With some players coming back from injury, he's played basically every game. So this might be the game week that he gets a rest. Then with Cole Palmer, he's obviously going to be playing against Wolves shortly. If he doesn't get a yellow card, he'll be fine for Game Week 19, but if he does, he'll be suspended for this one. Not the end of the world though, because Archer will come off the bench if need be. And against Crystal Palace, not the best fixture in the world. Then our front two has pretty good games. It's Solanke against Fulham at home, good fixture, as well as United away for Watkins, good fixture. Don't really see any problems with my striking department. But there's one omission, that main man Erling Haaland. If he does come back from injury, I might have to take out Dom Solanke for him, but let's see if we get some more injury news. Now just based off the current starting 11, I don't think there's too many problems. I think I could actually potentially roll the transfer, take 2 transfers into Game Week 20. We might look to get Erling Haaland back if he's fit. But what I want you guys to do now is comment down below what transfer would you guys make if this was your own team, 1 free transfer and 7.3 in the bank. While you're at it, you guys can also let me know what moves you guys are planning for this upcoming game week. If there's any transfer dilemmas, let me know, and I'll try to help you guys out as far as possible. But now let's go on to my transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 19. The first option is to just roll a transfer. As mentioned, the team doesn't look that bad. Starting 11 has some bench coverage, and Mo Salah's a fine captaincy option to be honest. Now my only concern might be the defensive department. The West Ham double up for Arsenal, don't think it's that great. Pedro Porro might concede, but I guess they're not the worst defenders in the world to own. Now there is some big injury news potentially though, and it revolves around the main man Erling Haaland. At the current moment, only a picture of him without shoes on the training pitch. So does that mean he's fine to play or not? Now he didn't play in the Club World Cup final, but that's because he didn't play in the semi-final. They had to have the same squad for both games. And we've had literally no news about an Erling Haaland comeback. But let's say we maybe get news tomorrow that Erling Haaland's fine to play against Everton. I might look to transfer him in, and that's why I left all that money in the bank. So I can actually do Dom Solanke out for Erling Haaland. I know this might not be the best choice. He's on form, has Fulham and Spurs in the next 2. But I'll definitely captain Erling Haaland in Game Week 20. So this might be a transfer plan that we look to do. I think if Erling Haaland's back from injury, he might even be rested. So let's see if we get any inside or early team sheet news. Now the other transfer, if I don't choose to roll the transfer or go for Erling Haaland, might be an upgrade. If I want to spend some cash in the defensive department, I might look to bring in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now I know last week I wasn't looking to do this, but I think come Game Week 20, I can take a -4 for Salah out against Newcastle. I can bring Erling Haaland if he's back fit. But if Erling Haaland isn't back for Game Week 20, this might be a valid move for this game week. Now my only concern is, who do I bench out of my back line? Is it Saliba, Gabriel or Pedro Porro? But I think Trent probably outperforms all 3 of them. Now yes, the fixtures might not be that great. He has Newcastle, then Bournemouth, and the fixture run doesn't get any easier. But Trent's just an elite FPL asset. Now the player I'll take out for him is going to be Lascelles. Just that current injury at the moment, Botman's back from that injury. I just believe Lascelles' minutes are probably going to be numbered, and that's why he's the obvious transfer out with all that money in the bank. So this move might be a sensible one. I think that Trent probably scores a few points over the next few game weeks, But I guess it all depends if Erling Haaland's back this week or next week, because I can't use the funds on both of them. Now, if you guys are looking for a transfer plan, just remember that most Salah and Son are leaving in Game Week 21 to the AFCON and the Asia Cup. And because Salah plays against Newcastle, if you want to take him out for that game, you can then use the funds to get Erling Haaland for Sheffield United. But all of this injury news does depend on Erling Haaland if he's back this week, back next week, back in the future. So let's hold thumbs that we actually get some concrete news. But let me know what your transfer plans are in the comments down below. As mentioned, any dilemmas, I'll try to help you guys out as far as possible. And make sure that you stick to my team selection tomorrow for the updated team or my deadline stream coming up on Tuesday. But this is basically going to wrap up the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you did and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And I'll be seeing you guys for future videos, as mentioned, the team selection and the deadline stream coming up later in the week. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.